Hi, and welcome to another presentation from your business tutor, learning your way, anytime, anywhere. Without a target or an aim, a business is unlikely to achieve anything. Why? Because without a focus, a business will have no direction. That's why today's presentation on objectives is so important. So what are we going to learn today? Well, first of all, we're going to find out what an objective is. After that, we're going to identify the objectives different organisations have, and then we're going to explore why organisations choose the objectives they do. So what is an objective? An objective is a major target that a business wants to achieve. And as we'll find out later on in this presentation, most organisations will set a number of objectives that they will aim to achieve over the coming years. But as well as that, we'll also see that the objectives that an organisation chooses is very much determined by which sector of the economy that organisation is in. For example, private sector organisations, such as a sole trader, partnership or a company, will have very similar objectives, whereas public sector organisations, such as the NHS, will have different objectives to those in the private sector. This is an important point because what it shows us is that organisations in different sectors of the economy are trying to achieve different things. So with that in mind, let's turn to our first type of organisation and ask the question, what objectives do private sector organisations have? Well, let's start with the most popular objective for a private sector organisation, and that's profit maximisation. This is an important objective because profit is the reward that the business owner or shareholders receive for taking on the risk of investing in a business. A second objective many private sector organisations choose is to provide excellent customer service. This is often chosen because providing excellent customer service will keep customers loyal and create positive word of mouth. A third objective many private sector organisations choose is growth. This is because if a business is growing in size, it may become the market leader, its brand awareness will improve and profits will rise. A fourth objective many businesses choose is to cut their costs. This is because if costs can be lowered, then the profits of the business will increase. A final objective many small or new private sector businesses choose is survival. This is because when you are small or a new business with not many sales, low profits and hardly any finance, it doesn't take much to put your business in trouble. Now, having just looked at the private sector, let's now have a look at public sector objectives to see how they are similar and also how they differ from those in the private sector. So what objectives do public sector organisations have? Most will have two closely linked objectives, which are to provide essential services to society and to make sure everyone can access those services. These objectives are important because essential services such as health and education benefit society. As such, everyone, whatever their background or wherever they're from, should be able to access them freely and when they need them. Another objective chosen by public sector organisations, which is similar to that of the private sector, is to provide excellent customer service. This is because if they provide that excellent service, society and the nation benefits because people will be healthier and people will be better educated. And a final objective many public sector organisations choose, which is similar to the private sector, is to provide an efficient service, or put another way, to cut costs. This is an important objective because public sector organisations only have access to limited funds. This means if they want to make the money they receive go further, they will have to look for ways to cut costs or work more efficiently. So now we've looked at public sector objectives, let's turn to our final question and look at the objectives of third sector organisations. By far the most popular objective in the third sector is to help the disadvantaged or socially excluded. This is important because by helping those in greatest need, the gap between those that have and those that do not is reduced, which helps to reduce the poverty gap and make society more equal. However, as well as helping people, third sector organisations often choose the objective of protecting the environment. This is because over the last 50 years, the world has seen significant climate change, which if not stopped could cause irreversible damage. So let's turn to a final objective that third sector organisations may choose, and that is to increase their funding or donations. This is important because without funding, third sector organisations won't be able to finance their activities. They won't be able to help the most disadvantaged in society, and they won't be able to protect the environment. So what did we learn today? Well, first of all, we found out what an objective is. After that, we identified the objectives that private, public and third sector organisations choose. And then finally, we explored why private, public and third sector organisations choose those objectives. Hopefully, this presentation has shown the importance of an organisation having objectives. Objectives are the driving force behind any organisation. They give it focus. They influence all decision making because every decision should be made with the aim of trying to achieve an organisation's objectives. And if a business achieves its objectives, it will have accomplished what it set out to do.